Hello, hello, AP world. Are you ready for Jeopardy? We are about to play tonight. It's going to be awesome. I want to get you the Remind code just in case you don't have access to me on Remind already. That way, when it comes to being able to answer the final Jeopardy, you can participate. Hey guys, it's Jeopardy! Yes, everybody, a couple people are early. It's fine. We could play on our own team. We have a pre-made group. I like it. I like it. All right, so just in case you don't have me on Remind, I want to make sure that you can get on Remind in order to play the final Jeopardy. So what you're going to do is you're going to text. You know what? I'm going to put this, I'm going to be fancy. I'm going to put it as a banner, and then I will start making your teams. Let's see. I'm going to add one. I need to edit this one. So I'm going to say text 81010. And then the message should be, and then this way, if you don't have me on Remind, you can get me on Remind, and then that way, when we start the final Jeopardy, you can participate. All right, so I'm going to scroll that across the bottom, and there you go. If you don't have me on Remind, go ahead and do that now, and then I'm going to start getting you on teams. So we got Fardeen is here in the house. Hello, Fardeen. And we have, okay, also we have some students joining us from Illinois tonight. So I want to know if you are from Westside or if you're from Illinois. And what school are you guys coming from in Illinois? I need to know that. So we got Amir. And is it Eunice Khan? Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. That way I can get you teamed up together, because we're going to do kind of like West Side versus Illinois. And I got Idris. And is it Sufyan? Is that how I say your name? And Talia? I want to make sure I get these right. Sorry if I mispronounce them. Hey, Melanie. I know Melanie. She's here. We got, is it fine that we could play on our own team? Yeah, if you have a pre-made group, let me know what it is. And that's fine. And T's from Westside, I think. Let's see. Sahir, got you. Yeah, that's totally cool, Amir. Just let me know who you want on your team. I'm cool with it. Are you guys from the Illinois school? I'm assuming Illinois College Prep School of America. Okay, that's who we're playing against tonight. All right, all right. So, do we want to just do all Illinois versus all West Side, or do you want to do a little bit smaller groups? Doesn't matter to me. Probably a little smaller groups would help, would be better. So I'll just make sure that you're on like either West Side or you're on the Illinois College Prep. And Amir, if you want specific people, like if you guys already picked a team, then let me know and I will do that for you. Melanie, I got you. Oscar, I got you. Oscar is a superstar. I think Oscar, you ended up with 100% this 6 weeks. That's like a unicorn in AP. That's pretty awesome. So way to go. Everybody give him a hand. Round of applause. My students that are tuning in tonight, they all did really well. So I'm very proud of them. I'm sure that you guys that are tuning in from Illinois, you guys are on top of your game too. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. So my Illinois peeps. Okay. Amir just put it on here. So you want yourself. That makes sense. And Idris. and Talia. And okay, I think that's everybody that I had written down, so that works out. All right, and then out of the Illinois people, if you're not on Amir's team, let's see, I got Tasfia. Is it Tasfia? I'm going to put you as a leader for another Illinois group, okay? If you're not on the Remind, go ahead and get on the Remind. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Hey, Katie, got you on a West Side group. That way you can participate in the final Jeopardy at the very end, okay? That's how you're going to do that. And I got Perry. Welcome in, Perry. Okay. So this is what I got so far. And I want to make sure that I'm not missing anybody. So we're just going through real quick. Safa, I don't think I have you on a group yet. So I'm going to get you on here. And what about Saba? I don't think I've got Saba either. So how close are you guys to Chicago? That's like the place I know in Illinois. So I'm just wondering how close you guys are to there. Are you more like South Illinois? Just wondering. So happy to have you guys. We love competition, don't we, Westside? We welcome it. That's right. Okay, and I did not share any of the answers with my kids. Trust me on that one. I told them today there's no cheating in Jeopardy. I got to be completely neutral. All right, so for team one, I got Fardeen, Mel, Trang, Sahir, and Koala. Koala, remind me who you are again. I can't remember your real name, so sorry. Okay, about 30, 40 minutes away, depending on traffic. Yeah, that's kind of how it is down here in Houston. Depends on traffic. For team number two, I've got Oscar, Tobina, Katie, and Perry also representing Westside. Oh, yes, Koala is Paula. That's right. I remember now. And for team number three, I have Amir, Idris, Talia, Sufyan, Selah, and Yusuf. Sorry if I pronounced your names wrong, but they are representing from Illinois. And then team number four is another Illinois team. I got Tasfia, Safa. Yeah, I got Safa on there, and Saba. Now, if those aren't your real names, you want me to call you something different, I totally will. Just let me know. We need some more. Do we got any more Illinois people? Got any more Illinois people that I missed? Let me know. Gigi, yes, this is AP World. This is for AP World. Would you like to join? Let me know. Let me know if there's any more Illinois people or Westside people that I missed. Once again, team one is Fardeen, Mel, Trang, Sahir, Koala, a.k.a. Paula. Number two is Oscar, Tobina, Katie, and Perry, and Pari. I think it's Pari, right? I need to make sure I pronounce that right. So sorry. And number three is Amir, Idris, Talia, Sufyan, Selah, and Yusuf. And number four is Tasfia. These YouTube names are tripping me up. Safa and Saba. You're from Westside. All right, Gigi. I'm going to put you on team number two. They need another person. So team number two. Do I got anybody else that I haven't put on a team yet? Okay. So, let's see. Yes, it's the second way. Okay. Perry, right? Like Paris, kind of? I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with names. It's very, very hard this year, too, because I don't really know, like, you guys face to face. Hey, Tosin. How's it going? So, my Illinois peeps, are you guys virtual or are you face to face? Mr. Asim cannot play on your team. That is not fair, Saba. No. That is so not fair. All right. So I got everybody. I want to make sure I got everybody on a team. You guys are virtual. Yeah, we are too. I've got about 10 kids or so that are face to face, but everybody else is virtual. I miss the kids. Like, I miss you guys being here face to face, but it is kind of fun too, because we've kind of been able to like branch out, and now our classroom is the world, right? So it's kind of fun. That's why I enjoy having you guys tonight. All right, so I've got everybody on a team. Just want to double check. Everyone is on a team. The Illinois peeps, I think I might just put you guys all on one team, because otherwise it's not going to be super fair, because we only have 3 on the other team. Let's see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so actually, I think what we'll do is we'll do all West Side and all Illinois peeps, and we'll just have 2 teams, because there's not quite enough Illinois peeps to have 2 teams, and I want to make it fair. Okay, so that's how we'll do it. So how Jeopardy works, you do not have to answer with a question. I know that's how you normally play Jeopardy, but you don't have to do that tonight. What we're going to do is go through, and I'm just going to kind of go in order, because the one thing about this board is that once we play one, it doesn't mark it off. So it's kind of hard to like keep track of what we still have and stuff. So for time's sake, I'm just going to kind of go right down the line, or maybe across, or something like that. You see the cat. So sorry. Sometimes my mic mutes itself. I don't know why that is in this program. I got to figure that out. All right. So let's see. You see the categories. We're going to play all 5 of those categories. And then we have Final Jeopardy. For Final Jeopardy, I will tell you the rules when we get to that. All right. Also, the first comment that pops up in my comment box is the winner. That's right, of course. It has to be right. Make sure that you pay attention to things that say explain or, describe. That's a little bit more than just one word usually. And let's say that like 2 Illinois people get a combined answer first, then they'll get the points first. Or 2 West Side people get the combined answer. You can help each other out. So like, let's say one of your buddies answers half of the question, and it's not enough to get the points. You can answer the other half, and the first like group, so to speak, from that team will get those points. Does that make sense? Also, if you are not on my Remind, how to get on the Remind is down there at the bottom on the screen. That way you can participate in the Final Jeopardy at the very end. Okay, guys, here we go for the Unit 4 Jeopardy playoff between West Side and my Illinois school, which I lost the title to. Let me look up here in the chat. Where are you guys at? Oh, Illinois College Prep School of America. I got to write that down. Illinois College Prep. So I'm from Ohio originally, and I used to go to Chicago all the time. Do you guys go to Chicago and visit every once in a while? I enjoy Chicago. It's a lot of fun. Seeing as how you're pretty close, I would say you probably go when you can. Although, are you guys shut down again because of COVID? My friend lives up there still, and she was saying that a lot of the restaurants have shut down. That is not good. Hopefully this COVID stuff goes away. All right, so we're going to get started. Are you ready? Drum roll. All right, here we go. Jeopardy for Unit 4 with Maritime Empires Link Regions. That's the unit we're going to start with. Here we go with 100. The Spanish arrived and conquered these 2 empires with the help of advanced tech and germs. Which 2 empires were they? The Spanish arrived and conquered these 2 empires with the help of advanced tech and germs. Let me know. Okay, who was first? Sahir got it with Inca and Aztec. Way to go, Sahir. All right, 100 points goes to your team, and that is correct. Inca and Aztec. CPSA is your nickname. All right, CPSA. I'm going to write that down so I remember. All right, so Incas and Aztecs, very good. Yes, Akash, I got you. Welcome in, kiddo. All right. And Tommy, hey, Tommy, how's it going? Tommy is my best friend's son from when I was growing up, and he is the coolest kid. He's got a YouTube channel called Tommy C3. You should check it out. Definitely subscribe. He's an awesome kid. He's always making some fun videos. Tommy, you'll have to be my guest star sometime. I think that'd be fun. All right, so Maritime Empire Link regions. Here we go for 200. Explain one difference between indentured servant and chattel slavery. Explain one difference between indentured servant and chattel slavery. Okay, I'm trying to be quiet so you can focus on what you're typing. All right, so we got a couple of answers. Idris says servants would get their freedom after a few years. That's true. Eunice says the same thing. Came in trade passage. True. So what I'm missing from your team is the slavery part. Let's see what Gigi says. Indentured servants could eventually pay off their debt, and chattel slaves were considered property. Yes, and points go to West Side. Points go to West Side. That is true. So remember, if it has two parts, you have to be the first team to get both parts. So very good. Going down for West Side. All right. Yes. So indentured servants, they could pay off their time as a servant. Chattel slaves were considered property. That is a very good point. Let's see. We also have in chattel slavery, the slave is personal property, whereas indentured servants could pay off their debt. Yes, very good. All right, next one for 300. This European country controlled trade throughout the Indian Ocean trade network during this time. This European country controlled trade throughout the Indian Ocean trade network during this time frame. And by this time period, it's 1450 to 1750. And Oscar came in by just like a couple of seconds. Good job, Oscar. 300 points for you guys. And Idris, you were right behind him. Man, that was so close. Yes, Portugal is the answer that we're looking for here. Remember, they had the trading post on the Indian Ocean trade route. All right, next one for 400. In the short term, the silver trade strengthened the Spanish economy. At the time, European countries had adopted an economic system which increased government control through high tariffs. What is that economic system called? We're looking for an economic system. The Spanish were using it at this time. Oh, I got the right answer, but who said it first? Who said it first? Sufyan, you got it. Mercantilism. Very good. All right, mercantilism. Basically, remember, mercantilism is keeping the money within the country. Awesome. Oh, we're going to be neck and neck. We got 600 for West Side and 400 for CPSA. So good job. This is awesome. I love it when it's a close game. It's way more fun. All right, explain triangular trade. Remember, this is an explain question, so your team has to be the first to get all the parts. Explain triangular trade. Yeah, Mr. Sim, he didn't quite have the spelling right, but you know. We don't grade spelling on the AP test, so we'll give it to him. All right, I got an answer from West Side. Gigi says Europe, America, and Africa that traded raw materials, manufactured goods, and slaves. That's pretty good. Kasha's products would go from Europe to America, America to Africa, Africa to Europe. Europeans sent finished goods to Africa. African brought slaves, which went to Americas, which created raw goods sent back to Europe. All those are great answers, but West Side inched you guys out by just a second. Not very much. You guys are super close. So 500 points going to West Side. Awesome. All right. Let's look and see if there's any other really good answers here. Looks like everybody got it right. Yeah, me too, Mr. Sim. Me too. I am so glad. I've graded the AP test a couple of times, and sometimes it's like, man, like I know what that word is. I think I know what that word is. I'm going to go with what I think it is. All right, Columbian Exchange for 100. Here we go. Name 3 things that went from the New World to the Old World in the Columbian Exchange. Name 3 things that went from the New World to the Old World in the Columbian Exchange. All right, so the first one we got, Akash, is tomato, maize, and apples. Apples, that's interesting. Did apples? I'm not sure if apples were here or if those were, well, I think they were brought from the Old World. I know that tomato and corn and maize is right. I'm not sure about apples, Akash. Are you positive about apples? I think those came from the Old World over here, but I could be wrong about that. Tasvia says horses, disease, and pigs. Okay, that's a tricky one. I'm gonna have to look up apples. How many was that? Was 100 points. I'm gonna give each team 50. We're gonna call it a draw for that one. I'm just not real sure about apples. We're gonna have to look that one up, Akash. You probably right, but I remember reading that the apples grew over here because of the bees that they brought. Remember? Hey, Timmy, how's it going? Timmy was here with us last year. That's awesome. Welcome in, Timmy. Do you want to play? Okay, let me know if you want to play. Yeah, so very good. A lot of things that were brought back over. Okay, Akash. All right, I'm going to trust you on that one. That's awesome. I know the apples grew because of the bees, but I'm not sure if they were here prior to that. So that's interesting. Google says apples are from Kazakhstan. Okay. Well, that's interesting, Idris. I'm going to have to research that a little bit further. We did read an article, though, about the bees coming over, and they're the reason why apples were able to continue growing here. So that's why I was kind of thinking that maybe the apples came from over there. But we'll look into that a little bit more. Okay, so Timmy, yeah, sure, you can join. We'll put you on our team. Kevin, do you want to join? And then we got Harshdeep. That's fine. Yep, you can also join. So we're doing West Side versus CPSA. They are from Illinois, and they are awesome. And so we're doing school against school. All right. So here we go. Columbian Exchange. I think we did. No, we didn't do this one. Why weren't the natives immune to European diseases? Why weren't the natives immune to European diseases? Why weren't the natives immune to European diseases? They all came in at the same time. So I got to scroll back up here and see who was first. Akash says they had never experienced them. And Paris says because of domesticated animals. That's right. So they had never experienced it because they didn't have domesticated animals. If we put those two together, then West Side, you would get that one. Idris says no contacts with diseases from the past. So that's true to a certain extent. They did have diseases, just not the European ones, because they didn't have domesticated animals. All right, very good. Those of you from CPSA, did Mr. Asim have you watched Germs, Guns, and Steel? Have you heard of that? That's one of my favorite things to watch, and it talks about why the Europeans had more advanced technology. So anyway, okay, they didn't have domesticated animals. Very good. And Trang says domesticated animals in Europe carry diseases while llamas aren't a big source. Yes, that's true. That's absolutely right. Okay, Amir, awesome. Oh, you read the book. Oh, look at you. All right. They read the book, Westside. We got to up our game. Yes, we do. I like it. Did you watch the show? No, we read the book. That's awesome. We've not read the book, but I made them watch the YouTube video. Anyway, it's pretty interesting. I like the book too. It's pretty cool. All right, so Columbian Exchange. He also has another book. I can't remember what the name is. It's something about like the fall of empires. I have that on my list to read it. Have you read that, Mr. Sim? I'd like to read it, definitely. Okay, let's see. Columbian Exchange for 300. Here we go. Give one example of how the horse changed the new world. Give one example of how the horse changed the new world. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it could be the Wi-Fi, Talia. Hunting beather. Somebody said that, and that goes to CPSA. Very good. Yes, better hunting as a result. So you guys have 750 Westside. You have 1350, but it's still anybody's game to carry stuff, easier hunting, transportation. Yes, very good. And mostly out in the plains. That really changed how the Native Americans in the plains lived. New means of fighting as well. Yes. All right. So let's see, we already did the 300. All right. For 400, give one example of syncretism as a result of enslaved Africans who were brought to the New World. Give one example of syncretism as a result of enslaved Africans who were brought to the New World. Yes, bonus points are the best. Our test isn't until Monday, but hopefully they'll be ready. Okay, so Oscar says voodoo. Yes, voodoo is definitely some syncretism going on. So here it says Creole languages, Gala language. Absolutely. That's awesome. My Illinois folks, have you ever been to New Orleans? There's definitely a voodoo vibe there. I've been up there a couple times. It's pretty close to Houston. I think it's like 6 hours or so. So every time I go, I'm always on the lookout for that syncretism to talk about. And of course, Creole is definitely pretty big up there too. Yeah, so you're right, Timmy. The Virgin of Guadalupe, that was another syncretic religion, religious thing. I can't talk tonight. Spanish bringing horses. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Yes, you definitely need to visit. It's super fun. On their realty signs, they have haunted or not haunted. It's really funny. Always thought that was fun. All right, Columbian Exchange for 500. Here we go. Describe one way the Columbian Exchange impacted the world. So try to put it on the world scale here. How did it impact the world? There's so many choices. Give me a little bit more than one word. Like, explain it a little bit. Okay, Kosh, that's pretty good. They brought diseases, wiped out the natives. That was a big impact, right? Slaves were brought to the Americas. Definitely lots of racial injustice. That's okay, Sifyan. No problem. I can read pretty incorrectly spelled words, so we're good with that. Timmy says it led to inflation in many places. Yeah, Timmy, you're right about that, especially with the silver trade. Fardeen, you were right on point with the silver trade. All right, so that one, Westside answered first, so 500 points goes to Westside. But you know, there was one time that I had a game in this one team was ahead, and then they lost it all in the final Jeopardy. So the game is never over. Right now we have $22.50 for Westside and $7.50 for CPSA. Still anybody's game. Lots of points on the board. Here we go with Maritime Empires Develop. Let's start with the 500s this time. Make it super interesting. Describe one demographic change in the New World, specifically South America, that happened as a result of the Columbian Exchange. Describe one demographic change in the New World, specifically South America, that happened as a result of the Columbian Exchange. Awesome. Okay, so here, yeah, I guess you could say with the natives, but Sufyan got the racial social structure, and that's a big demographic change too. I think I'm gonna split that between the two of you guys because those are both really good answers. You know what? We'll just give you the full 500 points. Let's see, what do we got here? 7, 8, 9. Okay. What else do we got? Let's see. Decline of natives. Yes, the mixture of races. That's definitely a big one. Remember with the new castas. Natives died. Yes. What's the score again? Oscar, we have $26.50 for Westside and $1,500 for CPSA. All right, let's go to the next one. So casta system to identify people according to race. That's one that you definitely want to remember. All right, for 400, describe one reason the Chinese suffered in the long run because of the silver trade. Describe one reason the Chinese suffered in the long run because of the silver trade. Inflation is the correct answer, and Oscar got that one. Awesome, Oscar. Inflation. And that's 400. All right. Shift from paper money, that's also a part of it. That's also correct, but they're going to suffer mostly because of the inflation in the end. All right. Maritime Empire Develop. Describe a cultural change to the indigenous people of the Americas, as a result of the conquistadors conquering them. Describe a cultural change to the indigenous people of the Americas as a result of the conquistadors conquering them. Women became less significant. Okay, that's a good one, Oscar. Harshdeep says religious conversion, definitely accepting Christianity forced upon them. They began to practice Christianity. Yes, very good. Also a loss of their indigenous culture. That's important too. Their culture was considered inferior, and so it was kind of like forced upon them to not practice their cultural things anymore. Some of it was syncretized, but not all of it. All right, very good. Let's go to the next one. Maritime Empires Develop. For 100, what is owned by investors who, what is owned by investors who buy, that should be buy with a U in it, who buy shares and invest in them? What is owned by investors who buy the shares and invest in them? All right, Sufyan and Idris, good job. Joint stock companies. Awesome. Okay, so that is 100. Timmy, did you find a friend? That's awesome. I love it. You know, last spring when we all started going virtual, Timmy was in my COVID class, we called it, and we had kids on here on YouTube that their teachers kind of weren't teaching very much anymore, or they were just kind of giving them activities. And Timmy is one of the original COVID class people. He's a lot of fun. It was different. You know, it was like kind of getting a world classroom. We had kids from all over the United States. So I love that because you never know when you need to travel and you need a tour guide. You know, if you guys ever come to Houston, You got Houston friends now. Just saying. And you definitely need a tour guide here in Houston to bypass all the traffic. All right, so challenges to state power. That's what we're going to go with right now. And Westside, you're up to 3,350. CPSA, you have 1,600, so it's still anybody's game. Here we go with 100. Queen Nzinga challenged these Europeans and fled west to create Matamba. She challenged these Europeans and fled west to create Matamba. Oh, that's cool, Amir. Awesome. Oh, Timmy, you're so sweet. I really enjoyed having you guys, that's for sure. All right, it looks like Sahir was the fastest typer on that. Yes, it was the Portuguese or Portugal. Very good. So 100 for you guys. Very good. All right, Portuguese. And challenges to state power for 200. Who led the Surf Rebellion in Russia during this period? Who led the Surf Rebellion in Russia during this period? And by this period, 1450 to 1750. Ah, the Cossacks. Yes. Do you remember the specific Cossack? Pugachev. That's right. Oh, watch out. Watch out. CPSA is coming for you. Oh, but you know what? I think Oscar. No, Oscar. Was Oscar first? No. Sahir. Wait. This one's tough. Sufyan said Cossacks. Sahir said Pugachev. Who was the first to say Cossacks and Pugachev? Let's see. Idris and you guys supposed to. It looks like CPSA was the first to say both. So I got to give that to our friends from Illinois. CPSA, you get 200 points going your direction. Good job. So it is Pugachev and it's the Cossacks. All right, for 300, here we go. This revolt happened against the Spanish in New Mexico. This revolt happened against the Spanish in New Mexico. That's right, Eunice, Mother Russia. That's another cool place to go, by the way. If you ever get the chance, go to St. Petersburg. It's lovely. I have a friend that lives there, and it's awesome. And I'm sure he'd love to be your tour guide because he's super cool. All right, Amir got the Pueblo Revolt. Very good. Oh, you just inched out Oscar just by a little bit. Just by a little bit. Good job. All right, so here we go. Let's see what our score is. CPSA, you're up to 2,100. Westside, 3,450 points. All right, for 400, the Glorious Revolution in England resulted in this. The Glorious Revolution in England resulted in this. Gigi, you should have learned him. These are in Unit 4. If you haven't learned them yet, you will get them on your study guide. Did I think you're in Miss Risley's class. Did she give you guys the study guides yet? Okay. James is overthrown. Yes, it's a bloodless revolution, a peaceful exchange of power. Good. All right, CPSA. Yep, you pretty much got that one. The only other thing that I want you to remember is that it increased Parliament strength and passed a law so that the Catholics couldn't rule England anymore. Remember, in England and in Europe as a whole, there was this big debate over should you be Catholic, should you be Protestant, and they were kind of like always competing with each other. So, all right, this one's 400 points. Okay, good, Gigi. You'll have this information on there so that you can review it. All right, and 500 points for challenges to state power. In general, give one reason the expansion of empires led to internal or external challenges with an example. So what is one reason that the expansion of empires led to internal or external challenges, and then give an example of that. Okay, Kosh, that's true. Harder to watch over people. Do you have an example? Saba said rebellions. True. Tell me an example. Fardine says because Ottoman Empire blocked Asia. Okay, so what is that a reason? Like how did that cause strife is what I'm looking for. Let's see. I got to go back up here because it just like skipped a bunch of people. Gigi says Islamic fighting, the Ottoman and the Safis. So religious not toleration, intoleration is the word I'm looking for. Yep, very good, Gigi. All right, so that's probably the best one so far. 500 points to Westside. And let's see what else we got. Idris says there were more factions or fractious empires, and European empires didn't try to elude cultures. They tried to wipe them out. Yeah, so that's true. Or include cultures. They didn't try to include cultures. Yeah, that would be true. Ottoman Empire, Haiti. Those are good examples, but you need to make sure and say what an example of. In the Russian Empire, the government started taxing the peasants and they revolted. Yeah, taxing them too heavily, right? They were always taxed, even by the Mongols, but, well, by the Mongols indirectly, but very heavily during this time frame. Inequality and social structure. That's a good one, Sayla. Yes. Inequality and social structure. That's in general a reason why empires have this strife. And the reason I want you guys to remember this question is because a lot of times, like on an SAQ or an LEQ, when you're writing it, you can use general ideas like this and then give specific examples. So it's good to know these general ideas. Similar to why do empires fall? Very general ideas, right? Like barbarians from the outside and they got too big. A lot of these you can use for the same thing and just give specific examples. All right, we're on to our wild card round. Here we go for 100. Give one reason why the gunpowder empires existed. Give one reason why the gunpowder empires existed. Let's see if you remember this one. Very good. Akash says the fall of the Mongols. Yes, they left behind a void when the Mongols fell, and it allowed other empires to rise up. Awesome. What else we got? Trade. Yeah. Adopted gunpowder. All these are great answers. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, and then wild card for 200. Give one example how emperors legitimize their rule through religion. Give one example how emperors legitimize their rule through religion. Let's see. Through religion. Sufyan, that could work, but you have to give me an example. Akash is more correct with the divine right of kings because that was definitely the use of religion. They did use religion with architecture, but what would be the example of that? What else we got? Art. How did they use it in art? What did they do with art? Eunice says the Mamluks. Eunice, how did the Mamluks legitimize their rule through religion? I don't really know much about the Mamluks, except for what I've read in our textbook, and there's not really much about them. So I'd be interested to know if you know any specific examples. Gigi says art through the Malameh Mosque. Okay. Akbar the Great, let religion be tolerant. Yeah, Akbar was pretty amazing. I mean, especially for his time, right? King of England and France considered gods, Hagia Sophia. Those are all great examples. All right, 200 points goes to Westside because Akash got that one first. Confucian empires used something, but I can't remember the name. Confucian. I can't remember if the Confucian were the mandate of heaven. I'm not sure if that was Confucian or if that was just China in general, but definitely I think it's the mandate of heaven that you're looking for. All right, wild card for 300. Here we go. Oh, filial piety. Yeah, that's probably what he might be thinking of. Yep, filial piety. All right, wild card for 300. Here we go. Give one example how emperors legitimize their rule through architecture. So what's an example? Make sure you're giving me an example of how they do it through architecture. Who's going to be the first one? Oh, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Akash got Taj Mahal. Akash, you must have something really fast internet. Sufyan came right after him with Taj Mahal. Very good. Yes, they're showing their power through the Winter Palace. We've got in St. Petersburg as another example. Very good. Constantinople, the Hagia Sophia. Awesome, guys. You're killing it with some of these answers. So, even if you're not the first person, it's still good that you're answering them because that shows that you're recalling some of this information. And that's what we want you to do for sure. You got to keep it in your brain. All right, wild card for 400. What led to the fall of the Janissaries? What led to the fall of the Janissaries? Janissaries, remember, are the military in the Ottoman Empire. Revolt? Against whom, Sufyan? There was definitely some corruption. Who were they not so happy with? Internal military conflict. Yeah, explain that. With who? Was it within the Janissary troops? Who were they not happy with? Think about who they worked for. The Sultans. Yes, Koala. Paula, you got that one. The Sultans. They were not happy with the Sultans. Oh, Oscar got Sultans too. The Sultan specifically, he was doing things that they didn't agree with, and the Janissaries were kind of like talking back to him. And the Sultan ended up demolishing, eliminating them. It's a very sad story, actually, how he did it. He like surrounded their headquarters with cannons, and supposedly some of them were survived that, but they never really like became military force again. All right, so I'm gonna split that one. Which one was that? Was that 300? No, that was 400. I'm gonna split that one because you guys did equally good on that. And I was getting answers from both sides, so. All right, wild card for 500. Here we go. Give a specific example of how an emperor financed the empire. Specific example of how an emperor financed the empire. Make sure it is specific. Okay, make sure that when you're saying how it was financed, you tell me what empire it was. So let me go back up here and look. The beard tax in Russia, that one's the most specific so far. Idris has Ottomans expanding empire with military. The jizya tax, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I think it's jizya. Yep. War profits by the Ottomans. Okay, all those are good. The first specific one was here with the beard tax in Russia. So 500 points go to West Side. All right, guys. We are ready for the final Jeopardy. Drum roll. I forgot to bring my little, I have a little noise maker and I forgot to bring it in here next time. All right, final Jeopardy. Your topic is 1450 to 1750. It's a historical thinking skill. All right, so that's the topic. How it works is I don't want you to put the answers in the chat because we don't want the other team to see. You're both going to be answering at the same time. So the first thing you have to do is wager your points. How that's going to work is I'll just take wagers from you guys. You can send me wagers on Remind. And if you send, like if 3 or 4 people from your team send a wager, then I'll just average it together. All right, so here's the score. You cannot wager over your points, but you can wager all of your points if you want to. All right, so Westside, you have 5,250, and CPSA, you have 2,700. So if you can talk amongst yourself, if you have a way to communicate with each other without us seeing it, that's fine. Oh, you're so welcome, Mr. Sim. I enjoyed having you guys. We love a good competition. And you know what? It's not over yet. All right, so I'm getting some wagers in. If you would like to wager something and you're not on my Remind, go ahead and join. That's also how you're going to answer as well. All right, I've got some wagers. I like it so far. Okay. Anybody else want to throw in their 2 cents? Anybody else? Anybody else? All right, going once, twice, and I have the wagers. All right, here is your question. Let me get the theme music. Hold on just a second. And I think this is it. Hold on, I gotta play the ad first. All right, so what's gonna happen is I'll show you the question and you can send the answer through Remind. And what I'll do is kind of just combine answers and make sure that everybody on your team that has answered is getting a fair shake. Okay, so here we go. If you want to answer, here's your question. Describe one change in 1450 to 1750. Give a minimum of 3 sentences. Put some vocab words in there. Kind of pretend like this might be a little bit of an SAQ. Describe one change in 1450 to 1750. Give some details. Here we go. All right, I'm going to give you one more take on that. All right, let's see what we have coming in here in our answers. So we have one answer that says mercantilism was the expansion of empires led to economic policy of selling more than buying. This was fueled by silver and gold found in the New World, done mostly by European countries. All right. The demographics of native populations in the New World changed dramatically. That's really good, because if it asks you the extent of change, he's got that extent language in there. I like that. Since the natives didn't have many domesticated animals, they never experienced European diseases and had no immunity. Combined with forced labor, native populations were decimated. Slaves were brought over to the North America through the Atlantic slave trade, 1450 to 1750. This led to the introduction of new foods and languages, as well as mixing of races and natives and Africans. Syncretism occurred in voodoo. Religion blended with native and African. These answers are awesome, guys. Creation of global economies because expansion of maritime trade, European policies of mercantilism meant that they were constantly trying to expand and find new trade routes to further bring wealth. There is an expansion of maritime empires, trade passage across oceans, and exploration of America. Social classes are formed, as well as hierarchy in many different societies. Mercantilism is also becoming popular. And one change was the expansion of the European powers into the New World. After landing in the Americas, the European powers started settlements that impacted the land. Diseases from Europe wiped out many natives. This was the first time the globe was connected, and the first example of globalization occurred after this expansion. Awesome answers. All right, guys, so let me see what's going on with these points. And, oh man, this is interesting. Ho, 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 ho. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Drum roll. So, CPSA and West Side for our first competition. West Side wagered 500. They got the points. So they ended up with 5,750. CPSA wagered all in. They were all in, baby. And they ended up with 5,400 points. So that game was super close. Only a 350 point difference. That's awesome. We might have to do this again, guys. Are you up for that? Like we could do a competition. We could see, like best out of 3 or something like that. I think you guys did a fantastic job. You gave us a run for our money for sure. So thank you so much for joining us. And now we have some Illinois friends. Isn't that awesome? Texas people? That's pretty cool, huh? All right. So West Side, good job. Round for you. And thank you so much, CPSA, for playing tonight with us. I hope you do an awesome job on your test. Mr. Sim, let me know how they do on their test. I hope they rock it. And very good game. Thank you for the awesome sportsmanship. That's really awesome. You guys are the best. I really enjoyed it. It was the highlight of my day, really. So thank you so much for playing and joining us as we review. It makes it so much more fun when we review together, I think. Were the Safavids religiously tolerant? That is a good question, Akash. I'm going to have to refresh my memory on that. I'm not sure. It probably depended on the emperor. And there may have been some, but I don't know for sure. I'll get back to you on that one. Oscar says it was fun playing with you all. The Safavid weren't. Well, Oscar would know. I think Oscar did Safavids for the gunpowder autopsy, maybe. Anyways, thank you so much for playing. That's a possibility, Sahir. I don't know. Now you've got me thinking about that. I'm definitely going to have to look that up. If they force Shia Islam, then they would not be religiously tolerant. So yeah, Oscar's saying they imposed Shia Islam as a state religion. Okay. Yep. There you go. There's your answer. All right, guys. Thank you so much for playing. I will see you tomorrow, West Side, and the rest of you. Hopefully we'll see you the next time around. So have a great night and good luck on that test. You're going to be awesome. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.